So this is back just before I head down back into the valley. Just look how beautiful it is. That area is called Red Cliffs over there. And up on top of there is actually a great big nature preserve. And right there, that's St. George Temple. That's where the quarry was used to build the foundation of that building right there. That LDS temple. Well, I just got back. Excuse me, I've just been driving on my scooter. I just got back from the store, and I just got back from exploring the old quarry site for the St. George Temple. And I'm at one of my parking locations. If you watched my last video, I was in Cedar City, and I've now been down in St. George for a couple of weeks. St. George is one of the easiest places for me to do this urban camping, RVing, full-time thing. Of every city that I've been to, everyone has sort of ups and downs in terms of how easy it is, and St. George is one of the best. Getting ready to leave. So RV, I call trailers RVs, they're trailers. Vans, van, another RV van, bunch. This is one of the most active RV and trailer places. Oh, there's the bus right there. One of the more active ones that I've seen. Oh, look at that. Look at those. Time to get going down to St. George. Storm is blowing through, and of course it's starting to get windy again, so I'm gonna have headwinds. Ugh. But what I need to do, ooh, there's a van with a high top right there, air conditioning unit, solar panels. Oh, and another van right there. And I just need to come put my stuff away. I always have to remember to put that up. I had the RV plugged in. Well, we had a lot of sun today, so I always like to charge the house batteries, but we're going to be driving, so I always have to remember to load this up. One of the things that I always do when I'm going to be traveling long distance is I close these windows, and there's a little dial right here. It just closes those. This, I always have to remember to... There we go. Okay, goodbye Walmart. Okay, let's go. Yeah, so I like this one. I like this Walmart. There are only, I don't normally like staying in Walmarts, but this one is good. My other favorite one that I like is Mesquite, Nevada. That's such an odd thing right there, that tower. Storm is coming through. St. George, 47 miles. This valley we're driving through to get down to St. George is actually a really kind of picturesque and pretty valley. It just doesn't show up much on the GoPro footage, but it's really nice to drive through. Okay, I'm getting into St. George. In my first RV, this is the exact route that I took to the location that I'm going. So it's kind of nostalgic. Boy, look at those homes on that hill up there. My goodness. I've driven this route right here many, many times with both my RVs and on my scooters. For being a new road, this road is really choppy. Turn right here. Is there, and there's a school bus. Looks like there might be a converted schoolie here. Maybe? No, just a bus. And here it is. My spot. Well, I'm in St. George, Utah. I made it here. Kind of a nice drive. And I'm in the spot that I have parked in many times, both in my last RV and this RV, in kind of this industrial area. And I couldn't stay in Cedar City for long because it was getting to be very cold. In fact, as the sun's going down, it's getting pretty cold here. It was supposed to be down to like the mid-20s there tonight. I would like to have stayed for an extra day or so, but it was just getting too cold. In fact, I found out that up in Utah, they actually had snow like the day after I left. So it was a good move for me to get going. I'm glad to be here. I'm just going to be here for kind of as long as I'm going to be here. I'm not exactly sure what that is. This spot is a good spot because it's generally pretty quiet. As at night, I have another location that I often go to. It's not as quiet, but it's a good sort of location that I will, vacillate back and forth between. And boy, the moon, it's a full moon. Look at the moon. That's amazing. I just really like it as a town. And the drive down here was just awesome. It wasn't too windy. It's a nice drive because it's mostly downhill. But so yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing for the next few weeks, is probably just sort of vacillating between this location and one other location. So I'm moving this morning. Gotta turn my lights off. I'm moving locations this morning. I've been here for a few days, and I'm just going to move my RV to a shopping center I've been going to during the day, where there's a good coffee shop that I like going to. And I gotta clean my windshield, it's filthy. And then I'm going to move to my other location. It's just also really cold this morning. It's in the low 30s, and I don't feel like riding my scooter, so that's what I'm doing right now. The one challenge I have is that because of these light poles that you can kind of see going along here, they block some of the sun, and especially now that we're going into less sun type of year because of the angle, my primary battery device, solar generator, doesn't get a full charge like I got when I came here yesterday. It was a perfectly bright sunny day all yesterday, and it only got up to 80%. And so I'm gonna go to my other location, which has better sun, and be there for a few days. So this is what I do. I vacillate between a couple of locations. But it is so cold this morning, I don't want to drive my scooter. Fortunately, where I'm going is not too far. This is the thing I like about St. George is my locations are kind of in a general area. You know, I'm not driving 20 miles across town like in Phoenix or something. So they had to cut through this big bluff right here to make the road system. So right next to me on my right is I-15, up and down, you know, from the Wasatch Front down to Las Vegas and California. And to my left, you can't really see it. You can drive right up into the hills and be immediately into a nature area that they don't allow building into. I like that light for me. Boy, that sun is bright. So in northern Utah, we've got mountains that occlude the bright, bright morning sun, which unfortunately you have to be exposed to full on here. Oh, I like that location just at night. It's so quiet. It gets kind of busy in the morning because suddenly everyone's up and doing things. Now driving onto Red Cliffs Drive, and my gym is right up here. There used to be a Planet Fitness here in town. Back in 2019 when I was here in my first RV, there was, but it closed down after the COVID debacle. But Vasa Fitness, which is my main Utah chain, is right here. There's Vasa. But just down the hill is a kind of a big grocery store shopping center. Oh, look at that. There's a hot air balloon up there. There's a park where people sometimes do hot air balloons and they do paragliding that they take off from. And it's probably the perfect time of year for it because it's quite chilly out this morning, and so they get really good lift. Boy, St. George from when, compared to when I was here as a kid back in the 1970s, has changed so much. My great-grandparents lived here, and my parents would sometimes bring us down, and I have these memories of being in my great-grandmother's garden, and she would grow tomatoes, which apparently grow really well here. And she would warn me not to turn over rocks because there could be scorpions there. Okay, so my grocery store is off to the left. Oh, bump, bump, bump. I hate that. There's the Beans and Brew that I like going to. They make these tight turn-ins. I caught my tire. It's a big parking lot, so I'm just going to come park right over here. And it's good because it's facing downward a little bit, which will give me just a little bit better solar exposure. I love this. My door handle now works. I was having to roll down the window every time I wanted to get out and open it from the outside. Now it just opens up like it should. I'm so glad I got that done. It was kind of an expensive fix just to get that. It was $130 to get fixed, but I'm glad that I got that done. It just is just so much nicer. Look at that single air balloon up there. Okay, so the coffee shop that I've been going to is right there. There's a Starbucks that I could have gone to way up over that way, but their tables are really low and it's uncomfortable, and they've got booth seating here, which is really a lot nicer. Well, it's the evening now. I was at that coffee shop most of the day, working. Got a bunch of stuff done. I've still got a lot to do tomorrow. It's Halloween night. Lots of people are out. Are you in your costumes?
Yeah. No.
Are you Smurfs?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Hi guys.
Have fun. This big, beautiful, probably easy 35-foot Class A showed up not long ago, and they have kind of like, looks like they've set up for the night. They got the stairs down, they've got all the blinds drawn. So I don't know if they're gonna try and stay here, but I didn't ask, but I didn't see any signs that say no overnight parking. So I've got some of my things to strap up the RV. Now I've got to get this thing strapped up. Luckily there's a lot of light, so it's easy. Okay, so time to get on the road to my alternate parking place. It's night, so we're not going to see much. But that's okay. Yeah, so I don't see any signs saying no parking, but I'm not going to assume it here. I have used the parking space. There's a trailer right here. There's another road that a car is coming out of. I've parked along there, lots and lots, but I've never parked on this connecting road. It's slightly busier, but you can see trucks parked right here. Okay, I'm going to go do some exploring. I am parked down the street from a spot that I have parked at a bunch just to kind of shake it up. And I've never actually parked in this spot. Oop, I've got to get off my stands. There we go. So I will show you where I'm parked here. So it's just down the street, around the corner from a convention center. So this is where I've been, and I've never actually parked in that spot, but it's been fine for the past couple of days. I've normally been parked right around the corner here, but I just wanted to kind of be in a different place. You can see there's a semi down there. A car or two will park down here. It's so interesting because 2 big box motels and the convention center is right here. And on the other side of the convention center, it's always really busy, and this parking lot never is. So it's kind of an absolutely perfect parking space. But I did discover something kind of interesting. I never realized this. There is a Cracker Barrel just around the corner. I'm going to go show you. I mean, I could park there, but I don't want to park there long term since I've got good street parking. So literally just around the corner there's a Cracker Barrel, and there are always RVs there and vans. So there aren't many here right now, but I've driven by here a couple of times in my RV. You can see it says right there, RV and bus parking. And that shorter Class C I've seen around town. But I've seen a couple of bigger Class A's in here. It's not a huge parking lot. But there are a couple of vans over there and a truck camper. But, you know, I've got such good street parking. I'm not going to come take up a space in here if I don't have to. But the thing that I want to go check out is not far from here in downtown is the old Mormon temple. They've been doing renovation work, and I'd love to go tour it. But a historical thing is that when they built it back in the 1800s, they had to quarry the rocks, and the quarry site is on a bluff just parallel to downtown. And it's just a hike over to it, and I want to go do that. Okay, I think I turn here. Yeah, and then you wind up the hill. Okay, here we go. Up the hill. Okay, I think it's up here. There's a little park. And then I think it's down to the left. I'm going off memory here. Yes, right here. I got Princess parking right here. There is, you can see St. George Valley down there. Sorry, I know it's windy. St. George Valley down there. There's a bird flying in the wind. It's kind of windy. There's my little scooter. And there's just a little park right here that is the launching off point. And it says Temple Quarry Trailhead. Pioneer workmen transported basalt stone blocks for construction of the St. George LDS Temple Foundation by wagon over this Temple Quarry Trail. Interesting. Very cool. Okay, here we go. So there, beyond is the valley St. George is in. And way beyond that way is Zion's and some of the other parks. Temple Quarry Trail, 1871 to 1874. The trail, Dugway, was built to access the quarry on the southwest side of the Black Hill. The large lava rock was needed for the foundation and basement walls of the St. George Temple because the stone was impervious to the alkali soil. Yeah, look at the rocks. This black basalt, it's kind of everywhere. I've been in St. George for about 2 weeks, believe it or not. I have been so busy over the past 6 weeks with a couple of projects that I just haven't done any videos. I don't multitask very well. I've had 2 major projects that I've been working on, and you know, so unfortunately I end up doing videos for my travel channel kind of slide, but I've kind of finished a couple of things. I have a reprieve for a while, so I wanted to come down here and just show you this. Okay, so I'm going to show you right here some of the first evidence of quarrying. Look at this rock. You could easily walk by it and not pay attention, but do you see the drill holes in it? So that's evidence of the quarrying for the temple. Some of this rock that was attached to this is probably in the temple someplace. I'm pretty sure that this path, I think, was the actual path that they hauled the rocks out on. Look at this. So we're now swinging around back to the other side. Look at the valley below. This is where it gets really spectacular. I mean, just look at the rock formations there. Okay, so here's a sign right here. Do you see this? That borehole into the rock? Look, there's a sign right here. There's a plaque. It's going to be hard to read. Temple Quarry Site. Dedicated